Alright, so I just apologize if my voice is a little raspy. My my sinuses have been a little clogged over the past couple days. But anyway, I just saw that Six Flags has announced, well, released their new for 2024 video, so rides video. So it looks like they're going back to what they used to be doing back throughout the 2010s, and they just release a video with all of their new announcements. However, I don't think there will be one for every single park. I do know that there are a few of the parks that are getting something. However, most of these parks, I do not know some of the parks, I have no idea if they're getting something or not. So come join me, and I will be watching this video for the first time with you guys, and you'll get to see my first reaction and my initial thoughts on what some of these rides will be. All right, so let's see what these announcements are. Okay. Fiesta Texas. Okay. So Fairway Nebula, the drop tower, and monorail. Alright, so I have actually seen something else about this when they officially announced it. So I already did know about the new land coming to Fiesta Texas. So they're getting a new monorail, they're getting a new drop tower, which they already have 3. They have the triple towers, so that it should be good. It's a new family-ish one. It's like 70 feet, so that'll be good. And then they're getting a new apparently nebulas. And then I do know I've heard that the DC universe right now, they have a bunch of DC rides kind of spread out, and it's kind of random. So now they're just making it all one big land. And knowing Fiesta Texas, it'll probably be really cool. So I'm really happy about that announcement. It looks really cool. And then obviously I knew St. Louis was getting their giant Giga Discovery. So I mean, that looks cool. It's good to see that they're getting another new ride. That's 2 new rides in a row, actually. And then obviously the Ultra Surfer over Georgia. Oh, was that Great America? Hold on. Yes, that was Great America there. It looks like they're getting also a Giga Discovery. That's pretty cool. Those are really fun rides. I wish Over Georgia got the Giga one, but we got just the smaller one. This is basically the same thing. Bob? What? Wait. They're going a little too fast for me. Great Escape is getting the Bobcat. That looks like a wooden coaster. Wait. What? They're going way too fast for me. Six Flags Over Texas is getting the world's first log flume. So I think what their log flume was the world's first, I think. Now is one of the world's longest. Are they like adding to it? Okay. Six Flags America. Finally something. New Reimagined Land. Where the future meets the past. Steamtown. Steamtown. It's like they're Scream Punk, but they decided to do something a little different. It sounds like a kids area. I saw their Vekoma SLC in there, so I wonder if that's going to be part of it. And then Great Adventure, which I think I know what this is going to be because it was also in the thumbnail. Oh, new camping experience. Wait, they're getting a Savannah Sunset Resort and Spa. Okay, so they're getting a new resort, I guess, and it's a new glamping experience. And then, of course, an all-new multi-launch coaster, the Flash Vertical Velocity. Is that the 3rd Flash coaster coming to Six Flags? There's the 2, Great America and then Discovery Kingdom. Aren't they both Flash Vertical Velocity? 24? Well, that looks cool. I just wish maybe they went a little more in depth about some of these rides because I still have no idea what they're doing like at Over Texas. Alright, I'm a little confused on what some of these announcements are, and also I'll go look up what more of these are. Go, figure out, and I'll go explain to you what the rest of these some of the rest of these announcements are that are a little not very self-explanatory and could have used a little more announcing time. I think would have been great. So I'm going to go, and then I'll be right back with what the rest of these announcements could mean, and like obviously go more in depth about some of them. So I'll be right back. All right, so I've had about 3 days to, you know, figure out my thoughts about these announcements. You know, look over some of the stuff, figure out what some of this stuff meant, because I was quite confused by some of this stuff, like what Six Flags Over Texas was doing, which now I do know what it is, and I've read through it and gone digging and watched a few YouTube videos, and now I figure out what all these mean, and now I will go and share my thoughts about what I think some of these ride announcements mean for these parks. And some of this stuff is like huge. Like Six Flags is working with some new manufacturers, which is really great to see. You know, when a chain works with a new manufacturer, is that usually leads to more roller coasters. And sometimes they start off small, but maybe they'll be building bigger rides, especially with Gravity Group, which Six Flags is now working with, apparently. So starting off with the first announcement that was in the video, Six Flags Fiesta Texas. And I already knew about this one, so I already kind of went over it. Basically, they're getting Shazam Power of Eternity, which will be a new family drop tower. It should be about 70 feet tall, so not a kiddie, but a family drop tower. And then they'll have Cyber Revolution, which will be a Zamperla Nebula's flat ride, which I've never done one of those, but they do look really fun. I mean, those are just crowd pleasers, it seems like. And they're really cool to look at. Like, those are just like, I could watch them go all day. Like, they're just really mesmerizing to see all those arms work perfectly in sync. And then there will be Metropolis Transit Authority, which will be a people mover style ride that will go, I believe, 17 feet up above the area and give you nice views around the all new DC Universe area, which, well, actually, I think they already have a DC Universe. I think they're expanding it. If not, it's an all-new, basically, it's an all-new land, basically. They're retheming a bunch of rides. I'm not going to go over all of them. And, yeah, it should look really cool. I mean, Fiesta Texas always does really, really well with their theming. And so it's really great to see that, you know, they're having, like, everything's going to be cohesive. Because they have a couple DC rides spread out, and so they're all going to make it one big land. So that should be really cool to see, because Fiesta Texas always does really well with this kind of stuff. Six Flags St. Louis will be getting the Joker Carnival of Chaos, which will be a Zamperla Giga Discovery, which is surprising to see one of the smaller Six Flags parks be getting the larger model. Like, even like Six Flags over Georgia and over Texas, they both have the smaller version. Now, by smaller, it's like 15 feet smaller. It's not that much smaller. St. Louis will be getting the larger version of the Zamperla Discovery, which those are really cool rides. Like, I mean, I've only ridden Pandemonium at over Georgia. I have seen the one at Magic Mountain. I can confirm they look no different. They literally look like the exact same one, even though the Magic Mountain one's just a little taller. But those are really, really fun rides. And I really, really love Pandemonium. It's such a great ride. So another one coming to Six Flags St. Louis. That's great. And then they're also should be getting the Joker Funhouse, the queue. I'm hoping that it gets the Funhouse queue like the one at Fiesta Texas. I'd imagine it would, but maybe because it's not Fiesta Texas, and Fiesta Texas is really the only park that does theming in the Six Flags chain, maybe it won't. Hopefully it does. I mean, any park that gets a giant discovery, it's going to be a great fit, because those rides are just amazing. And Six Flags Great America is also getting another Zamperla Giga Discovery, which, I mean, is the same thing. I mean, I have to say basically all the same things about Six Flags St. Louis. Giga Discoveries are great rides. I haven't done a Giga, but the Zamperla Discoveries are great. Those are amazing rides. Any park that gets one, it's really just going to be a great fit for. I'm really happy to see 2 Giga Discoveries getting added into the Six Flags chain, and that's really cool to see. Those are really great rides. Now, here's the one that obviously I'm most excited for, and what I think will be the best new ride. I promise this is not, I'm trying to not be biased when I say this, the best new for 2024 ride coming to any of the Six Flags parks, and that will be Six Flags Over Georgia's Intamin Ultra Surf Coaster. The name has not been announced yet because the fans are getting to choose the name. I've actually entered my name. McKaylee, my sister, also entered her name if you want to. The voting ends September 5th, so hopefully I'd imagine this video is going to be out by September 5th. So if it's not September 5th yet, then go ahead and enter your name, what you want to name the roller coaster, because it's really cool that the park is doing this. This is not the first time they've done it either. But anyway, Six Flags Over Georgia needed a launch coaster. they needed a spinning coaster, and they needed a shuttle coaster. And guess what? I did not think we'd be getting all three of these, and also done very well in one roller coaster, but yet here we are. We are getting a launched spinning shuttle coaster in 2024. That's very exciting. Could the launch coaster is a little like, we could still use another launch coaster, but the shuttle coaster is covered, the spinning coaster is covered. I'd say for our next coaster, we should probably get another launch, like a true launch coaster, because who knows if you'll really be able to feel these launches, these are really going to be super powerful. Hopefully they will. But, it's a launch coaster, so now Six Flags Georgia can say they have a launch coaster, which is great because Six Flags Georgia, I believe, for at least North America, had was the park with the biggest park in North America without a launch coaster, I think, or something around those, like the most coasters at any park that none of them were launch coasters or something like that, with 12. So this will be Six Flags Georgia's 13th coaster, assuming they do not remove Joker Funhouse, which they better not. I swear, if they remove Joker Funhouse coaster, that is such an amazing ride. Do not remove it. I don't think they will, but if they do, I'll be very mad. But this should be Six Flags Georgia's 13th roller coaster, which is a lot. And it just checks all the boxes for what they have. I'll be doing a full analysis for it when they announce a name. It's my home park. There'll be construction updates. There already is actually one. I was there for the announcement. All this. I'm very excited for this ride, and it definitely does look like, I think it's the best 2024. It's the best coaster coming to the Six Flags parks in 2024. Now this one was really surprising. I don't think anybody was expecting this. The Bobcat coming to Six Flags Great Escape will be a Gravity Group family coaster. Yes, you heard me right. Six Flags Great Escape is finally getting a new roller coaster. It's a family coaster, yes. It's also a family park, though. But that's just very exciting. Nobody was expecting, I don't think, for Great Escape to be getting a new roller coaster. They are removing one, I believe, Alpine Bobsleds, right? Is that the name of I think Alpine Bobsleds is the name of their roller coaster, their bobsled, that just closed. If not, will be closing within a few days. It's great to see. I believe this will be taking that plot of land, so that's really cool. And they definitely needed it. Now, they already have a wooden coaster in Comet, so for a park that has so few roller coasters and needed one very badly, why they didn't go with a steel roller coaster, since Comet's a really good wooden coaster, they could definitely use a new steel coaster, but they're getting a new roller coaster. It looks great. Those Gravity Group family coasters just look like amazing rides, so I can't complain. Now the one that I was definitely confused about. I was very confused. El Rio Lento, I believe that's how you say it, right? El Rio Lento is coming to Six Flags Over Texas, and that will be a refurbishment of their old log flume, which, in case you didn't know, Six Flags Over Texas has the world's first ever log flume. Well, the first ever modern log flume. And it is, El Rio Lento will be a refurbishment of that old log flume. And what was confusing to me was that they were marketing this as the world's oldest and is now the world's longest. Then if you look at their website, they still have all the old log flume stuff, but then they just changed the name. Like, it's the same page, but then they just changed the name, and then they said it's coming in 2024. Which is confusing because you can't market a all new ride for 2024 while also saying it's the world's oldest log flume that opened in 1963, I think. So I'm a little confused, but basically they had two log flumes. One of them was 1963, the other one was 1969, I believe. And they are taking those two and they're making them one long life log flume, one of the world's longest log flumes. The oldest one ever is no longer in operation. That was at Alton Towers, which is about 2,900 feet long. So I don't know if it'll be that long. They just say one of the world's longest. So it's very weird marketing, but it looks cool. They're also adding one new lift hill and will feature 2 new drops, which I'm a little confused on how that's going to work. But one of those 2 drops will be they're marketing as a giant steep nosedive. So I'm imagining it's going to have new boats because, I don't know, if it's a nosedive, I imagine you'd have to be, like, restrained in some way. So I'm very interested to see how this ride turns out because we don't have much information on it. They're basically saying, El Rio Lento, the world's one of the world's longest, and the world's oldest log flume, and it will have one new lift hill and a giant steep nosedive. That's basically all they've said. Six Flags America is getting Steamtown for 2024, which is a newly rethemed land. It's great to see Six Flags America get some love, and while there isn't a new coaster coming in 2024, this shows that Six Flags at least wants to improve the park. Hopefully this land is well themed, I'd imagine. With the turn that Six Flags is heading in, hopefully it has like nice theming, but again, it's not Fiesta Texas. So we'll see. Unfortunately, Mind Eraser will not be closing, which I know many people were hoping. And then there was like some rumor that it had been torn down. It hasn't. So, yeah. They will be refurbishing it and giving it new trains. So hopefully it won't be so horrible anymore. I've heard the SLCs with the new trains that have been refurbished aren't as bad. So hopefully they it's not as horrible anymore, but I'm just pretty sure it's still going to be pretty horrible. So, a slightly less horrible roller coaster. And now the biggest edition of them all. For their 50th anniversary, Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey will be getting the Savannah Sunset Resort and Lodge. I believe that's what it's called. Savannah Sunset, I believe, is Resort and Lodge. And that will be their all-new luxury glamping, which is basically a corny word for camping, nicely glamping. That will be a new lodge that will be on the safari, which is really cool. They're also bringing back the safari, the guided tour, instead of the one that you drive through. And that is, this will be right on the safari, so it'll be really cool. You'll be able to, it'll probably be pretty expensive, but it'll be cool waking up and seeing some lions out in the distance, and it seems very nice. I just think, I don't know how this will go. Usually people don't put luxury safari experiences and spas with Six Flags, but I'm hoping this does well, because Six Flags, it seems like they're really trying this year, and this year, they're marketing this as their best year ever, which honestly, I'm gonna say this is a pretty good year for Six Flags. They're adding a lot, but not only usually, throughout the 2010s, they always added something to every park, but usually that was like a rethemed ever new coaster or a RMC, but they did just the bare minimum for an RMC. They did that a few times, like Twisted Cyclone. But Twisted Cyclone's amazing, so I don't care. I'm very happy that they did what they did. I'm honestly happy they didn't do the third lap, because Twisted Cyclone is amazing. Overall, they're not adding as much this year as they used to, but they're all higher quality rides that they're adding, or just in general. Like Six Flags 10 years ago would not add a brand new lodge. Maybe a swing ride, and then, a bunch of them Larson loops. That's all it would be. They're never like a new lodge luxury something, which I know Great Adventure is a little special, but I'm just happy that this lodge looks nice, and it shows that Six Flags, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make a more luxury experience. But they're not doing it in the way that they were originally saying, was basically jacking up the prices and doing nothing else. It seems like they're really trying, especially with Great Adventure. They're doing a bunch of new stuff across the park, which I know is more for its 50th anniversary, but I'm imagining that we will be seeing more improvements in general across all of the parks, not just Great Adventure. And the Flash Vertical Velocity, which is, I didn't even mention this yet, Six Flags Great Adventure is also getting a brand new roller coaster, the Flash Vertical Velocity, which will be a Vekoma Super Boomerang. And this looks like a nice fit for the park. Capacity, as everybody's been saying, capacity will probably be an issue for this ride, which is also a problem that will probably be with the Six Flags Over Georgia's new roller coaster, the Ultra Surf. So hopefully both of those get turntables. I doubt it, but they could, and that would be nice. And overall, it just looks like a good ride. But in general, the Great Adventure especially just shows that Six Flags is really, really trying. They are definitely not doing the same thing that they were saying that they would do in 2022. I think Salim figured that out pretty quickly, that was not a good business move, and instead of just jacking up the prices, they're actually trying. With this lodge especially, it's showing that Six Flags really is trying to do the premium experience, but not in the way that you might think. They're not just jacking up the prices. This resort will probably be expensive, but it's gonna have there's going to be luxury in it, but it's also not required, I guess, is they're trying to make it nice for the people who actually care, like the families. Like, for instance, there aren't going to be teenagers that are going to this lodge. This will be probably, assuming the price isn't too much, a family thing. Like, people are going to have a weekend at Six Flags, go to the safari, go to the water park. That's what Six Flags needs to be marketing towards. Right now, their main audience is teenagers. If they want to bring in families, they can't completely ghost the teenagers by raising the prices and stuff. They have to find a way that they can get the families to come without completely blocking out the teenagers, which is exactly what it seems like they're doing with this lodge. The teenagers, yeah, okay, whatever, you're not going to come to this lodge because it's very expensive, but for the families that want to come, think like Great Wolf Lodge, where there's going to be, you know, a lodge where people can come and they can, you know, well, obviously spend the night, but it's going to be a nice luxury experience that will maybe could also come with stuff like a free fast pass into the park, or flash pass, you know, comes with flash pass or something like that, a couple skip the lines to make it more enticing for the families to come. But it just seems like Six Flags in general over this entire announcements it seems like they are really trying to improve these parks, and they are really, really trying to make this the premium experience that they were originally saying they would be doing in 2022, but they're not doing it the way that they tried to in 2022. They're trying a new way, which is great that they're not completely ghosting the premium experience. They're just trying out a new way. And I think that this way will actually be the way that works. And I really think this is really good for Six Flags. And seeing these additions is great. I mean, new coasters take a while to plan. So this is one thing, but wait until 2025. And now, since they changed their mind to 2023. So now think 2025, it was going to be even bigger additions. 2023, you know, kiddie coasters, right? They'd buy them last minute. 2024, they're spending more money on them, and they're a little bigger. Still kind of last minute, but now think 2025, that's when we're going to start seeing, I think, the real stuff coming. So that's really exciting. I think Six Flags is heading in a really good direction with these announcements. So what do you think of Six Flags' direction that they're going in? And what do you think of these new rides? I mean, some of these rides look amazing. Others, no, they're going to be cool. But some of these rides, like these Giant Discoveries and the Ultra Surf and Flash, these all look like really, really good rides. So what do you think of Six Flags' new direction? What do you think of these new rides? Are you going to be heading out to any of these Six Flags parks for 2024 and going out and riding some of these rides? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. And please make sure to have a thrilling rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.